Okay, 34. Here you go. You got to write a system of equations, which tells us, hey, two equations. Set up two equations. Anytime you got to write a system, two equations. One equation. Two friends ordered one plain pizza and two sodas. So make sure you have a let statement because it doesn't tell you what the variables should be. So I just let, for easier purposes, P equal to pizza and S is equal to soda price. All right, so I'm going to turn this over to you now because I got to start hearing from you with 2 weeks left. One plain pizza, two sodas, bill totaled $15.95. How can I write that? Here we go. I hope everyone's awake here. Knowing that, how can I write that? Here we go. Let's start us off. 5. How can I write that equation? There you go. $15.95. Any issues with that one? Okay. Glad some of you guys tried this. Guys, do you understand this is graduation credit as well? Okay. I hope some, because I'm watching people just blank papers and you didn't try it at all. Fine. No big deal. Good luck. It's going to drive me nuts. I know it. They ordered 3 plain pizzas and each person had 1 soda. What do I mean by each person? 5 of those friends. Okay, 5 of those friends. So here we go. 23. Go ahead, write an equation knowing 3 plain pizzas, each person ordered a soda. Where'd you get the 5S from? 5 people, 1 soda piece. And what was their bill, Hannah? Great job. $45.90. Did you guys solve these at all first semester? Experience solving them. Okay. You either have to get rid of the variable of P or you got to get rid of the variable of S. All right. You can either multiply both equations by a number and cancel them, or in this case, I think it's easier. What can I multiply this one by so the P's will cancel out? Caitlin? -3. Boom. -3. Make sure it gets distributed. And here's a common mistake I usually see here. Usually they distribute it there fine, but everyone forgets to distribute it on the right side. Got to distribute that, whatever you multiply by, through everything, including the other side of the equal sign. And then whatever that ends up being on that side. And then your 3 P's will cancel out. And I'll have 5S minus 6S. Negative. Three, here we go. What'd you get? Can you do -3 times $15.95 for me? 47 was the other part, Emma? 95? 85? Okay, here we go. 6. 5S minus 6S. -1S. 45.90 minus 47.85. Divide both sides by -1. There's the cost of a soda, $1.95. All right, $1.95. How do I use that now to get the 1 slice of pizza now? Okay, here we go. Nope, I want to hear from new people today. 4. How do I find the slice of pizza now? Does it matter which one I plug it into? Nope, doesn't matter. So I'll take that first one. P plus 2S equals $15.95. Here we go. P plus 2 times $1.95 equals $15.95. All right, let's go. Help me solve it. 24, help me solve it. What are you going to do first? Go. P plus. Next step. Keep going, Josh. Next step. Yep, go ahead. So P, the pizza costs. How much? $12? No, I just couldn't hear you. Every year this shows up. Every year. You guys remember the big part 4 one you did on Friday? What was it? Juice boxes and water bottles? For me, if that shows up, I'm going to be pretty darn happy. If that's one of the big point ones, all right, if that shows up, because I think that's about as easy as it gets as far as these tougher problems go. Okay, I don't think there are easier problems out there than set up 2 equations and solve it. Yep. I'll just do this one right up here. Okay, your mail letter was 49 cents up to 1 ounce. Yep, every additional. Which recursive function? All right, hey. Recursive. You always need 2 things. You need what the first term is and then the pattern. What's the first term of this sequence? 49. We don't even have to go into every additional ounce is 21 cents, et cetera. There's only one up here that tells me the first term was 49, right? That's it. I have to remember that anytime I'm asked for a recursive function, recursive definition, you have to provide the first term. And remember doing this? Something about the previous term, right? Okay, that didn't even matter here because the only one they gave me a first term of 49 was choice 1. Next, anything else here before I swoop around here and do a common check? Emma.
How would you know what to do if you're given another A?
So there's another choice that says A1 equal, okay, good call. So first term, I would write out a couple of them, 49. Each additional ounce is 21 cents. So to 49, I'm going to add 21. I actually did this. That would give me 70. And then add it again, I'd get 91. So I'm trying to find out the pattern, which is add 21, right? So what do I do? The previous term to get to the next term? Add. So next term, you remember this previous term, add 21. Okay? And hopefully there's one that both of them are there. Good scenario. Any others? Before I answer that, I have a couple questions for you guys with this one. Okay? You're supposed to graph it. How'd you know which values to plug in your X column here? How did you know what values to plug in your X column? Okay, here we go. Already heard here. Here we go. Oh, look at that. Already heard. Oh, look at this. Already heard. Here we go. 7. How'd you know which to fill in your X column? No. How'd you know which numbers to put in your X column? Because you had to start somewhere. Not for this one. No. I just want to know how do you know which numbers to put here? There you go. 0 through 5. It says graph it from 0 to 5. I didn't have to do any of that axis of symmetry business. Okay, what numbers did you find from 0 to 5? 8. What numbers did you find from 0 to 5? 5. 50. Yep. Just by the equation alone, will this parabola open up or down? Go ahead, 4. Open up or down? Why? Okay, so it should look like this, right? But I have a problem with the table Fiona gave me is correct. No issues. But if you tried to graph it, did we ever graph a parabola that looks like that? No, you always know there's a high or a low point. So how can, in my calculator, how can I find what that high-low point is in the middle? What am I forced to do here? Because you shouldn't have graphed it like this. No chance we should have graphed it like that. That's embarrassing. Come on, Caitlin. So the max or the min, right? Okay. I could also find the axis of symmetry here. Okay, help me find the axis of symmetry. Here you go, 3. What's the b value up there? 40, so negative 40 over 2 times, what's my a value? Negative 8. Everyone, if you haven't done so, what is my axis of symmetry there? What's that come out to be? 21, x equals? Negative 40 over 2 times negative 8. $2.5, yep. And notice that's right between 2 and 3, so 2.5. How can I find what its y value is? There's a couple ways we could do it. 14, how can I find what the y value is? Yeah, 2.5, what's its corresponding? Like 2 and 53 to go together, 1 and 37 go together. 2.5, how can I find the y value that goes with it? Plug it in, go ahead. 2.5, and then what would my y value be? And you had to do this for part B anyway. Question, Kelly?
I didn't know about the axis of symmetry thing, so I just want to table set and like going by instead of going by 1, so I'll just put in 0.5.
That's what's awesome about that table set option.
Does that work?
It should. I would maybe just check the axis of symmetry just to be on the safe side, because it might be like 2.25. What do we have? 55. Okay, so you should have had a point at 2.555 that got that vertex. Okay, so that part B now, that's the vertex. 2.5, now this is going to your question, Marco. Part B, 2.555 is the vertex. What's that mean in the context of the problem? It's your x or your y coordinate, Marco? X or y coordinate? In this case, it's t in the problem. What's t represent? Okay, so at 2.5, what kind of time? Seconds, minutes, hours, days? So at 2.5 seconds, what are we talking here? The ball reaches what, Marco? Of what? What's the max height? 55. Let's put, and there's no units on there, right? Nope. It just says units. Okay. We good? Is everyone okay on how to find this, even though it may not come up in your table? Find the axis of symmetry, plug it back in. That's how you can always get your max value or your minimum value. Anything else here before we go on to some ones that I picked, and then you can go on to the homework ones? Anything else? Okay, flip through it. I'm definitely coming around here. 1, 3, 5, 6, 8. So just show me those first couple multiple choices, 1, 3, 5, 6, 8, and then interested what you did with 34 and 36. I just want to hear from you guys. How you going to find it? A lot of different ways. Here you go, 20. How are you going to find the minimum value for that one? Sure, why not? Go ahead, plug it into your y equals, everyone. These are what right here? Absolute value. Again, I can't answer that question day of the test. Alpha window or under math, scroll over to number. Okay, alpha window, scroll over to math or number. Let's go, let's find it here. If you haven't done so already, you can use your table, you can look at the graph. It's up to you what the minimum value is going to be. Okay, either way you picked it, using the graph or the table, what is the minimum value here? Here you go, 7 minimum value, -2, yep. Goes down to -2. We're not done yet. I'm going to do a little challenge on this one. And I know you guys have already have the graph, so it's a little bit easier, but how did I move that graph? +3 inside, -2 on the outside. Right, down, left, up. How did this graph move? Just looking at the equation, I know you guys can cheat already and look at the graph, but tell me when there's a +3 inside and a -2 on the outside, how did this graph move? 5, how did this graph move? Okay, hold on. Inside +3, that tells me it went left 3, and with the -2 on the outside, Emily, it went down 2. Okay, something always comes up. 14, here we go, 14. Same page. They give me this original function. Which one of these 4 are going to generate the same sequence of notes? Which one of these 4 are going to generate the same sequence of notes as 6 times 16 to the n? Trying to prove a point with today's problems I've picked. What can I do to figure out which one of these 4 will produce the same amount of note sequence as that original one there? Thoughts on how I can do that one here? Here we go, 22, any ideas? No idea? This is going to give, I plug in numbers for n, it's going to give me certain values out, right? How can I figure out which one of these are going to be the same values? Okay, well, if I plug in only one number, I could get the same value for a couple of these. And it wouldn't okay, instead of us doing it though, Xavier, what else could I use? Our calculator. Where can I go to figure out if I plug in a certain value, what value it's going to come out to be? What can I do? Where can I put this in my calculator? This is a total calculator problem. Okay, before I go to a table, I got to plug it in where? Y equals. And guess what I'm going to do to all my choices too? Going to plug them all into y equals. So I'm going to have 5 y equals right now. And then I'll go to the table and see which one matched my original right now. So I'm going to go to the table, go ahead, plug in all 5 of those functions. Look at your table and figure out which one produces the same one as your original one. What do you got? Sure. So you guys have y1 through y5 filled in. You are comparing every table to y1. and figuring out which one produces the same values here. You guys finding the one that creates the same table of values? And which equation? 13, which equation? The second one, 6 times 2 to the 4n. Yep. We just did 2 problems, 4 points total. We didn't do a darn thing, did we? We just let the calculator do the work. Emma. You have all 5 plugged in? You have y1. You have your table for y1, right? You're not looking at your x's at all. You're just comparing y1. So there's the original, right? Okay. Now take a look at the y3 column. You see how they're all the same? Mm-hmm. Okay. So these 2 equations have the same outputs here. Okay. Good. Everyone else, all right, comparing their columns. Good. Let's go to 25. Yes.
So on the Regents, on the problems that we only need to use our calculators, we need to show that we use it.
Multiple choice, you do not need to show any work. You just circle your answer and go. If that's the case in part 2, 3, or 4, I used my graphing calculator. I went to y equals, plugged it in. Gavin, you actually tell me exactly, you write down the steps that you just put into your calculator. Okay? And that's fine. 25. Okay, let's get away from the multiple choice here for a second. Okay, John put both of these in the graphing calculator. They came out to be the same line. And he wrote down the answer is the empty set. Ooh, yikes. I don't know if you guys talked about that. Is that a familiar term this year? Okay, fine. Ready? Empty set just means there's no solutions in there. No solutions. When you do graph 2 lines, where's the solution going to be? When you graph 2 lines, where's the solution? Caitlin? Where they meet. Okay, usually it's where they cross, where they intersect each other is your solution. Here, though, for these 2, it ended up being the same line. I'm hoping that you covered this concept. If not, I got a lot of work to do here in the next 2 or 3 minutes. So they didn't intersect. They're the same line. Anybody remember what the solution was if it was the same line? Do we remember that one? If it was the same line, was it no solution or was it something else? Fiona? Nice. All right. We're going somewhere. The answer, if you graph both lines and it ends up being the same line, the answer should have been, Fiona? Infinitely many. Anybody remember when it would have been no solution? If you graph both and they're parallel, they never intersect. Nice job. So he is incorrect. The solution is, once again, Fiona? Yep, is infinitely many solutions. Infinite, oh boy. There we go. Many solutions. If it was no solution, again, Caitlin, what would it be? Yep, if the lines were parallel, the answer would have been the empty set. Okay, so again, usually if they intersect, it's the point where they intersect. If it's the same line, infinitely many solutions. If they're parallel, no solutions. Tom, go with your question. I think that's it, really. Okay, all good there. Quick 2 points right there. First part 2 question. And 32. We got a war going on between Nora and Mia. All right, so both of them are looking at a circle. Let's take Mia and see if she's right or wrong and tell me why. She says, oh, the circle, I'm sorry, let's go to Nora first. She says this circle is a function because she can trace the whole graph without picking up her pencil. Is she correct? First of all, is this a function? Anybody know why it's not a function? It fails something big time, Hannah? Okay, I draw, anybody remember the test you can do on a graph? Straight line, oh boy, every line is straight. Vertical line test, right? How many times did it hit? How many times did it hit? Twice, correct? If it hits twice on the vertical line test, it is not a function. All right, it is not a function. So Nora is incorrect. First of all, she's ridiculous with this my pencil never leaves the paper idea, but Nora is incorrect because it fails the vertical line test. What about Big Mia? Mia says the circle is not a function. Is she correct by saying that?
Yes.
Okay, there's a problem though. She's correct. Anybody know the problem? What do you got, Kelly? Her explanation is crap. That's why. All right, she is correct in saying that it's not a function, but she said it's because multiple x map to the same y. Say that again, Kelly. It's got to be the other way around, right? Go ahead. Correct. All right. The x values cannot repeat. All right. The x values cannot repeat. All right. So Mia is right, but has the wrong explanation. Okay.
Would we be able to say that on the actual test, like I'm assuming you can since you wrote it, that it fails the vertical line test? Is that like a valid?
Yeah. The circle fails the vertical line test. Yep. Now, the only thing I would worry about is what if they don't give you a graph?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say they pull one of these. I've seen this too before where they give you the points. So let's say I have 1, 2, 6, 2, 5, 8, 4, 6, and let's go, I don't know, 7, 8. Is this a function, guys? These set of points I've given you, will it be a function? Why? Because no repeating x values. Correct. This is what she's saying here. Because y values repeat, it's not a function. That's baloney. It's a function if no x values repeat. It doesn't matter about the y values. All right. If no x values repeat, it's a function. Okay. Good. All right, I want to walk around and watch you guys do some independent stuff right now. All right, so you guys are starting the problems I put on the assignment sheet. Try to do it without looking at the answers at first.